Another dream pond, pretty much there now, apart from putting the window in and doing all the filtration. You all start with a pond, then they watch my videos, and then they start building a pond like this. Banging quality. We've got one bottom drain. It's definitely a decent quality skimmer. Window's been cut out. That being said, we're gonna crack on. You can't beat a baby bell. One advantage having a lunch break. Splints is chilled out. We're still grafting on. Right, so all the floors getting put in. The old fiberglass, the dust and everything. One of my favourite things about watching this fiberglass be done. Look how smooth that is. That really does put a banging finish on it. Because this is the best part of the job. Hello everyone, welcome back. James the Koi Whisperer. So today I'm back on the fiberglassing job with Matt. We're at a customer pond called Helen, but the quality of this pond build is fantastic. I'm going to spin the camera around and get some clips throughout the day of how the job's progressing. Just wanted to share it with you guys and hopefully you can enjoy it. Right then, ladies and gents, so this is the pond build. Absolutely banging quality, well impressed. Helen, the owner, said she did lay a few blocks herself. Got a bit of resin poured out, ready to make up a mix so we can get these sheets on the pond wall. We've got one bottom drain. It's definitely a decent quality skimmer. We got all the filtration down the back. It looks like customer said they're going to be putting a nexus on the pond. The window's been cut out, recessed in. Something that's not essential, but it can be done. Something to support the glass, especially when it's a big window. Looking the absolute hammer. One thing I do like, got the roof all on the pond. Keep all that rainwater out. And one thing I've noticed, it certainly makes a better finish when there's a decent cover around the pond. So inside of this pond is going to be an absolute banging finish. We're going to crack on, get this put on the walls, and I'll be back with you in a sec. So, like a lot of us, you'll start with a pond, get into the hobby. Like Matt was saying, then they watch my videos, and then they start building a pond like this. That's the hammer. So, I'm going to put the phone down, we're going to crack on, and I'll snap back to you when we got all this foam on. Right then, so that's all the foam on. Looking really smart. A little bit of bonding paste down through this wall, just to keep it as level as possible. And yeah, not gonna lie, it's coming on. Happy days. So I even just had to go on the roller. I haven't got it on my video, but how do I get on, Matt? Beautiful. Right, so Matt's just about to explain something to me with this fiberglassing.
This is all wet out up to this point here. You see all this silvery white area all over it?
Yeah.
That's pinholes there. If that resin goes off too fast, it's going to leave thousands of pinholes, thousands of leaks in it. And we just want to make sure that's nice and wet out, saturated with resin. Resin's the waterproofer. The glass basically just acts as a carrier. So, we've let it soak with like the primary wet out. Now we're just going over it, doing good arm pressure. You're not cranking it down like that, it's arm pressure and nothing more. Then that can be, again, just left to wet out.
You can certainly see the bits what you're on about though, all those pinholes. That camera's really showing up on that angle.
They're almost gone, aren't they?
Yeah, they're almost gone now.
This is far from the end of the story. We don't use tissue to cover these pinholes up. That's not what tissue is all about. Tissue is to mask over the fibre pattern. Paddle roller is what's coming shortly. Now what we'll do, just wet that through really nicely, nothing excessive in resin on there, nothing all dripping down, nothing all over my shoes, nothing in my hair or my eyes. Nice and clean, keep your bucket close to you, you're not dragging your bucket from halfway across the pond. Any excessive drips I can see down there, look.
You just roll them out in a second.
Just roll them out.
I've noticed as well, Matt, you're constantly looking everywhere. Wherever you're working, you're constantly looking over all of it.
Got to have your eyes on
You've got to, especially when you got me working with you.
Get your camera right close up to that. You see those?
Yeah, you can see them. Look like little air bubbles. Yeah.
That's it. That's what they are. Got to get rid of every single one of those.
And it's the sound of the roller, isn't it?
It's a big part of it.
Happy days. But one thing's for sure, Matt, you're certainly giving away a few tricks of the trade with this. But it takes years of experience as well, to be fair. I mean, what Matt's teaching me, I really highly appreciate it, because working clean and tidy with these materials certainly makes a difference.
That's number one.
Yeah, that certainly makes a difference, without a doubt. All of your equipment in a certain place, your tools in a certain place, the glass we cut earlier on, having all of the equipment in certain areas, resin mixed up in a bucket, you can see the overlap of the fiberglass, and there's still walking space to walk around without treading in the stuff and then getting in and out the pond, because you have to do that several times, and it's something that I've experienced. You're not just in the pond the whole time you're doing it. So work smart, not hard, as they say.
Work clean. Otherwise, these materials are going to run away with you, and you're going to end up in a very, very stressful situation.
One thing's for sure though, you can certainly feel the heat. Now this has been put on in this corner, you can feel the heat difference being stood here than what you can over near the window where the air's coming in, and the vapours will start brewing up. I noticed a minute ago, I didn't get it on my video clip, but on Matt's video, when I rolled this on, anyone wants to check that out, I have had a go. When I filled up the gaps, I did notice that I could smell it when I was doing it, but about 5 minutes after it's on the wall, that's when the punch real starts coming up through the eyebrows and the nostrils, and you can certainly feel it. But anyway, I'm going to get my gloves on, because it looks like we've got to make another mix up, and well, I'm helping out where I can, so I'm going to get this done. Now Matt's just put the tissue on, which the tissue's over here. This is something else you have to bear in mind with timings when it's going off. You can still see the top of it. Can you see any pinholes in that now? Certainly can, after it's been paddle rolled. And well, I think that's the difference, mate, isn't it?
Yeah, the tissue, like I say, the tissue doesn't mask over pinholes. If anyone thinks that, they're sadly and badly mistaken. That gets rid of the pinholes.
The paddle roller?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's timing as well, isn't it? Knowing when to use that.
You don't want to go onto this too early. It won't have the effect that you want it to if you go on it too early. So you can go up and down like that. You can go upwards. You hear that sound?
Definitely.
Now, if I repeat what I've just done, all the way back up, it will sound different, won't it?
And that's the sound you're looking for.
That's the sound you're looking for, mate. Boom.
And the camera, hopefully it'll pick it up, but listen to the sound now, before it has a paddle roll. Every single bit gets hit twice, all the way up, all the way down. But one thing's for sure you've got to watch out for, when you're filming and there's a bottom drain, that you don't break your ankle. Another thing that you've got to keep an eye out when you're working inside of a pond. That being said, we're going to crack on, and we'll snap back to you when we get the first sheet on all the way around. Fiberglassing's been done all the way around there. I have had a go, but because I've had a go, I haven't filmed it, but it's on Matt's channel if you want to check it out. But the vapour in here, we just had to open up this side, because, not being funny, it does make you feel lightheaded. That being said, Matt's back with a new bucket and we're going to crack on. The tissue, look how smooth that is. That really does put a banging finish on it. Absolutely banging.
We get this on every job, but we have to be realistic sometimes that it's just not doable. Wind blowing through, red hot temperatures. You can't choose the perfect ultimate day, otherwise we'd be doing 15 ponds all in one day. If we can't get tissue on, which obviously we will try to because of this finish, we can do a bit of a switcheroo. Possibly get a bit of tissue at the top, so that gives you a nice visual appearance when it's finished and full of water. Hit it all out, non-tissue, with another layer of resin. I mean, there's no more waterproof than that. If you put 15 layers on, there's no more waterproof than that layer.
No.
because that's more than ample enough. You could argue, I suppose, more resin. The resins are waterproofer, more waterproof. I don't know. This job just allows for plenty of space for two of us to be in here. You passing me stuff, me putting tissue on, plenty of place to store things. Yesterday's job was a different ball game. This is where you need to be in this game for 2 years to see loads of different environments of jobs. And like you were saying as I walked down there, we just had to open it up.
Yeah.
That vapour is even too much for me.
Even just me stood in this back corner here where we've done, I can feel the heat on my back as well, just the smell of it. So let's crack on, Matt. Right, so that's all the walls done. We've done the bottom drain, skimmer, windows all been done. Now it's time to get some lunch down. Get yourself on the ham sandwich. You can't beat a baby bell. Get in. One advantage having a lunch break. Get to have a little nose at some of the koi. Looks like the current system's run off an easy pod. Run into a backy shower. Helen, the customer, did say she's going to be getting rid of this one. Might be keeping this one and running it off of the new skimmer line that she's got. But yeah, Kahaku down there looks banging.
A bit of sumi and Benny on that one there.
You know your stuff, mate, don't he? Tidy little pond, but like a lot of us, you start with a pond like this. Even though Ellen said this pond's been going for 15 years or something, innit?
Yeah.
15 years. Decided to upgrade to her dream over there.
After watching your videos, no doubt.
Well, yeah, she did say she was watching a few of the videos. Generally what happens, people see what they've got and see what they can have, and then they end up building a new pond. Not to say that you have to build a new pond, but you will certainly see the difference when you have something like this, which is nothing wrong with this whatsoever, but that is just a whole new level, and when it's done they'll be well made up. And especially after, like I said yesterday on a video, fiberglass in another pond, as soon as you see the inside of the pond go black, it really does start looking like a koi pond. Job's turning out all right, to be fair, but I'm not gonna lie, still wouldn't do this job on my own. The smell and the vapor being in that room yesterday wasn't as bad as what it has been today. I think that's down to the temperature as well. Really is kicking up a stink. And I mean, we've done all the walls, we've only got the floor to put in, and then it's a waiting game for it to dry off. It was just getting too much. I had to sort of get out, or to be fair, it was getting a bit to the head, the vapours getting a bit to the head, and Helen brought us out a sandwich, so we're just sitting down, having a bit of a lunch, and then we'll crack on in a minute.
It's just patience, isn't it? You don't go at this at 271 mile an hour. Take it as a pace, you take what's coming, and you work through it. And that way, you don't make mistakes. You don't get all excited that stuff's going off because you put too much harder in because you want to crack on with it. You work steady. Having you here is a huge help, huge help.
Yeah, because like you said, it would have definitely been a 2-dayer, wouldn't it, minimum?
Oh, without doubt.
Yeah.
Without doubt. And we're not just rushing it, so we ain't got to spend the night in the van. Imagine that, me and you in the van overnight.
Well, I bought my fishing bed, mate. I was going to sleep in there, but the stench is stinking, man. So, yeah, I'd have probably just pitched up out here, to be fair. But yeah, Splints is chilled out. And, well, finish up the cup of tea, and we'll be back with you in a minute. The old fiberglass, the dust and everything off of the sheets certainly does get everywhere. And it is surprising how much buckets you go through doing this job, how much rubbish you go through, how many tins of resin that you need. To be fair, Matt takes all of this stuff away with him as well. I did say to him yesterday, I said, you leave it on site, or like let the customer get rid of it. He said, not a chance. You cannot leave your stuff on site. But I know when I've had work done myself at home, not fiberglassing, but I've had building work done, and they end up leaving everything. Matt takes it all with him, and he gets rid of all of the materials as well. So, you know, fair play for him for doing that. But this job certainly takes a little bit of time to learn. I have had a go today. It hasn't been on my videos, but Matt's got some clips on his videos of me having a go at the bottom drain and the roller. And yeah, Matt's come back with a tape measure now, so we're going to work out the drops to whack the floor in.
Just going to measure up for the floor now, and just to make a nice tidy job, we're going to measure from just a couple of inches overlap on each side, 1 piece across the floor, so that should be 4 and a bit drops. Drain's already done. Lovely bit of sumi. on the one kahaka down there, that'll come through given a bit of time, that right bit of feeding. That fish is going to improve. Trust me. You thought I was just a fiberglass, didn't you? And the belly on that genuine Sakanoa, that's outstanding. That's a fish. That's one to look out for. That's a window fish that in the future. Yeah, I'm impressed with that one. Scalation as well. Champion that. That's good. That's had good parents, that fish.
Right, so all the floor's getting put in, tissue's going on. But one of my favourite things about watching this fiberglass be done, watch how this happens around the bottom drain.
As we've spoken about many times over the last few days, it's all about timing.
Bosh. Right, Matt's almost done, but I ain't being picky, but it looks like he's a little bit short on the end there. What are you doing there then, Matt?
Nobody would know about that, other than you and I. But because we know about it, neither of us are going to sleep knowing there's a bit of tissue missing where it ought to be. So rather than not make the effort, we're just going to make the effort and just get that exactly how we want it to be. Again, for a few seconds of work to make that job as nice as it can be. It must have been a piece of glass I cut, James, a bit short. Not one you cut short. You've done champion today, so I've created this little extra bit of leaning over, but you know what? I'm going to be happier knowing that that's there, yeah?
Yeah, totally.
Definitely. Nobody would have seen, no, the customer ain't going to see that if it was missing. But we know it's there. And that ain't, it's not acceptable if it's like that, is it?
Totally not. And that's how I see how you roll, mate. Got to be done properly, else don't bother doing it at all. Right, so we're still grafting on, still here. 6:15. Been a fair day. We're at that time of day now. Matt's just mixed up all of the black pigment. I'll spin the camera around and show you how it's happening, because this is the best part of the job. So all the walls have been sanded back, and now it's time for this to go on. This is when the pond comes alive and it turns from the block work, the fiberglass, to looking like a koi pond. And that's what you call the absolute hammer. I'm going to start taking all of this up to the van. Surprising how many kegs of resin we actually went through for this job. And yeah, I'm going to get all of this put in the back of the van. Loads of dust over me. Another dream pond, which is pretty much there now, apart from putting the window in and doing all the filtration. Helen was saying about she's going to have a go and do all the pipe work herself. So that there's, like I said, anything you need to know, get us on Instagram and I'll help out if I can. I do like it when people have a go themselves, do you know what I mean? It's a bit of satisfaction when you finished it, and you know if there's anything that goes wrong. If you do your pipe work yourself, that you know how to fix it if something don't go right or go wrong. But I did recommend, I just said, every single like skimmer line, return line, bottom drain should I say, just add some ball valves to it, because if you do that to start with, especially when you've got a cracking pond like this, you know that all of your returns, if you ever want to change your filtration system or anything like that, you can. So it's definitely worth doing. Matt's going to crack on and get the pigment on, or the top coat on should I say. Final job of the day, Matt, innit?
It is. I'm chuffed to bits with the finish. What's helped get to this point with this finish is the fact that the water's so flat.
Yeah, they are.
Nicely done.
Really nice build.
Been looking at that genuine shower over there. That's if I'm not mistaken, that's a Dainichi fish. I can tell from here looking at it. Got good body, got good body shape, especially from the head backwards towards the lateral line and the caudal pendulum.
Do you know when you used to say to me that it's good to know your limits? To be fair, we've had a bit of a good day today as well, haven't we? Weather's been on our side.
Every day's a good day with James the Koi Whisperer, isn't it?
Well, some days.
Don't do yourself down, man. It's been absolutely brilliant again.
This is my favourite part. And when you come out and see Helen in a minute, I mean, earlier on Helen was saying that she had a bit of problem with this build, didn't she, over the time, people messing her around. and she was just so pleased today knowing that.
They say self-praise is no praise, but what Helen said to the both of us up there made me feel $1 million.
Yeah, totally, mate.
You must have felt the same.
Yeah, 100%.
Because you've inspired the lady here to do this.
Yeah, that's what she said. She said, like, she's watched all of my videos, and it's part of the reason why she went from this pond over here to seeing my videos. Even the black, the Santex black on the roof. She said you don't need to ask what paint that is. But to be fair, yeah, she's going to be well chuffed in a minute when this is all finished. That being said, I'll get some clips of Matt doing his business here, and I'll put on a bit of a time lapse, and I'll add a bit of backing music for you, so hopefully you guys can enjoy this. Let's snap on with a time lapse. Right then guys, so that's another pond done. Ain't gonna lie, grafted out today. That being said, I don't see you in a week. I'll see you through a window. Thanks for watching the video.